Florida Maquis, can't you find one positive thing to say about the Donald Trump administration? I mean, you have to admit that we are definitely moving in a much better direction than we were the last 4 years. I totally agree. Had a lot of people come down to the comment section and say that I've been too negative lately. Well, buckle up, kids. In this video today, it's going to be nothing but positive things to say. But I'll warn you, it is something that I predicted a long time ago, and I am happier than a clam that it has come true. There's something going on around Donald Trump that I've talked about, and many people have said that it's not really relevant, but I think it's really something we need to be paying attention to. So stick around. You're going to love this video. If you're a fan of Donald Trump, you're going to love this video. Real quick, as always, thank you to all of you who've continued to support us over Florida Maquis Patreon channel. Love to have you over there. I know it's not for everybody. I know it's tough times. Prices of things are still going up, but that's not always a negative thing. Like I said in this video, nothing but positive stuff. If you'd like to join us over there, we have 4 levels. $2, $5, $10, and $15 per month, respectively. This week, we are going to have a brand new video up for the what we call the Need to Know Roundtable. That's for the 5, 10, and 15 levels. Last 2 videos that we've done over the last couple weeks have been for the base level for everybody. So there's brand new content over there. And once again, fully refundable. First 90 days, no questions asked. 1 minute, 35 seconds. Let's get to the positive news around Donald Trump. How many of you remember some videos ago I said that much like in Donald Trump's first administration, he seems to have this ability to create an orbit around himself of very voluptuous, very beautiful women, even going so far as to put them into positions of power. Heather Nauert, top center in the red dress right next to Alina Habba, his lawyer, was actually slated to be the number 4 person over at the State Department, and it got found out that she had an illegal nanny for her child, so she had to step away. Now, some have said, Florida Maquis, I think you're reading too much into this. Well, I've been keeping track of it, and I found a piece of information that I think a lot of you are going to want to hear because it goes to something else that this channel has been talking about for years, even over at the Patreon channel. Now, the big 3 right now that we've talked about most recently, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, Kristi Noem, Head of Department of Homeland Security, no background in law enforcement whatsoever, but Head of the Department of Homeland Security. And right here from Florida, Pam Bondi, the new Attorney General. Now, long time I talked about Tulsi Gabbard at this channel and said she'd be a great choice for some position in government. Boy, I got a lot of pushback. Not so much now that Donald Trump's put this faith in her. But all 3 of them, very, very good looking. Now, those 3 by themselves wouldn't be evidence of much. But let's keep going. Guys, real quick, just for the fellas out there, quick poll, show of hands. How many of you have looked at the calendar and said, oh, you know what, it's that time of year, it's time for my annual turn your head and cough moment, I got to go in and get that physical. How many of you have ever showed up for a physical and when you walked into the door in that little room down the hallway, this is what you saw? Only in my dreams, Maquis. I remember this movie. I don't want to hear about it. But y'all know what I'm talking about. This is Jeanette Nesheiwat. This is the new Surgeon General. The new Surgeon General of the United States. Now, here's some homework. Go to Wikipedia and look up all of the previous Surgeons General, I guess you would say, of the United States, going all the way back to the 1920s, and see if you can see a little bit of a different take on the Surgeon General, the person that's going to be giving Donald Trump his physicals going forward. Now, we talked about this one before. This is White House counsel. This is the personal lawyer of the president, Alina Habba. Now, some might say, well, Florida Maquis, what are you digging at? Well, you see, Alina Habba, for her birthday, she's in her 20s, had an entire island rented out for her by Donald Trump for her birthday party. Ladies, so I don't leave you out. How many of you out there have ever had an entire island rented out for you for any occasion, wedding, birthday, ever, from just, I guess, your boss? The boss that was you're just good friends with and support him politically. Oh, but wait, there's more. I know that 99% of you don't know who this is, because I had to look it up when I saw it. Quote unquote, special assistant to the president and communications advisor, Margot Cady. Now, I'll be honest with you, I can't think of one reason that this would be the way that it is, other than what the obvious is. And if you look real close here, you can screenshot it. Look over the right shoulder of President Trump at the dudes that are just gawking at this woman. See, these aren't just average ladies. These are like runway model supermodels. I mean, absolutely. And everybody knows. And here's the point. Florida Mucky, what is your point? Get to it. I'm not wasting any more time. Here it is. Here it is. You ready for this? You're going to love this. Caroline Leavitt, 27 years old, youngest press secretary ever, doing a great job. But how many of you remember when over at the Patreon channel, and I've referred to it a few times here, that I said, you know what, ladies? Hard times are coming. There are some unpredictable times that are coming. And I know a lot of ladies are like, I don't want to have to go through it alone. I'd like to have a partner, but, I can't find a good guy. Over at the Patreon channel, I said, you know what? Maybe instead of saying, okay, most ladies will say 10, maybe 12, maybe 13 years older, but no more of an age difference than that, going older and probably younger too. I said, maybe push that out 10 more years. And boy, I tell you what, did I get a ton of pushback on that. Oh, that is horrible, Monkey. I can't. That is terrible. No girl in her 30s should be dating a guy. You ready for this? Caroline Leavitt, 27, is married happily to a guy who is 59 years old. That's right. Do the math. That's 32. That's right. 32 years older. Real estate developer up in New Hampshire. 27, they just had a baby. And I am happy as a clam for them. God bless them. What a wonderful story. Gen X husband, Gen Z wife. Boy, I tell you what, there's a lot of people just absolutely cringing at this right now. But to me it's good news, because it's proof of something. It proves that this is one sharp cookie. This is a smart girl. If you're going to have a kid, especially in today's America, you better make sure it's with somebody who can take care of that kid. And the great thing about this guy is, I've done a little bit of homework. He didn't come from money. He was poor. And he had to work hard, and he had troubled youth. And he got into it. He did it the right way. He worked his way up. And, he's worth a few bucks. This is a picture from Florida, down here at a basketball game, I think. Unreal. It puts to shame the difference between Donald Trump and Melania Trump. There's only 24 years difference between them. This is the Macron. There's a huge difference the other way. He's 42 and his wife is 67. She was actually his teacher in school. So, anyway, just saying, it was something that I talked about a long, long time ago on this channel. And a lot of people said, boy, that's a terrible idea. That's never going to work. I don't know why you're suggesting people do it. But I do have a question, though. And I think I still have the picture up here. It's on a totally different subject. Right here at the end, I wanted to cover it. It has to do with what's going on. Well, I guess we'll just leave it right here. Gold. That's what it was. How many of you remember when the U.S. government decided to destroy the economy of Venezuela and then blame it on socialism? They wanted to go in and install their own puppet, random guy named Juan Guaido. They wanted to get rid of Nicolas Maduro, and they wanted to, use psyops and use all sorts of tricks with the mainstream media to make you believe that it was actually socialism that destroyed that country, when truly what happened was it was sanctions, and the U.S. got together with all of its allies, and they seized the bank accounts and seized actual physical gold held in banks in London that belonged to the people of Venezuela, to the government of Venezuela. They seized the bank accounts. Okay? Now, this forced Venezuela to turn to cryptocurrencies just because they were not as easily stolen by Washington, D.C. And I made the allegation that it was very much like what was going on in the series Black Sails a long time ago. They were raiding ships, and they were trying to convert Spanish gold into things that couldn't be tracked and traced as easily. One of the things was, of course, black pearls, and many other things that could be distributed and hidden and all this type of stuff. So I guess my question on this is that with all of this, all these things being found and being announced by, let's go to Caroline Leavitt again real quick here. Where's the picture? Here it is. She keeps running out these lists of things that have been found by Doge, right? Well, why aren't we just seizing the bank accounts? Why aren't we just, we know we can do it, right? So much money went here, and then so much money went there, and then so much money went, that money's traceable. That money is trackable. Why aren't we just like we did with Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela and their bank accounts? Why aren't we just seizing the bank accounts like we have with so many? What happens when you don't pay your taxes and you get a tax lien and and you have assets? They seize them, don't they? Just like we did with Venezuela. We seized their assets, and then when we seized their sovereign wealth fund, every asset they had that was in any kind of a Western institution anywhere, boats and planes and any asset, and then finally we broke their economy, and then of course we ran out the super hot spokespeople to say that nobody's going to argue with, of course, to say that it was socialism. Yeah, it was socialism that destroyed them, when really we know it was pushed back against Washington, D.C. So why aren't we, if everything that's going on right now with Mr. Trump, and they're talking about all of this corruption, all of these things that are being found, why aren't we just getting the announcement that today we seized the bank accounts of this institution, that institution, this other institution? Why aren't we doing that? Why is it just a list of things to be angry about today? Here's the details. Here's the details of, we found this money being wasted and that money being wasted and this other money being wasted. What do you mean wasted? Go find wherever that money went, whatever bank account it's in, wherever that got distributed to, seize those accounts, seize the assets of everything that was bought with it. Just take the money back. Right? Tell me where I'm wrong. And when it comes to this, also tell me that you're not seeing it. Ladies, if this was your husband's doctor, you'd be like, okay, that's the doctor. All right, that's fine. And then this was his private lawyer, and you found out that he rented out a private island for her birthday. And this particular person, who was just his special assistant for communications and whatever, and this is a spokesperson, his attorney general, his Department of Homeland Security director, and the director of national intelligence. There's no guy in the world that could get away with this. There is no guy in the world that could get away with this. So, anyway, I'm glad they're happy. I am so glad they're happy, and I'm so glad this is the case. So, say what you want, but, you might not be happy about it, but I am. And I'm sure everybody else involved is happy regarding this, so. And this, as far as, wanting to see something shiny, why aren't we just seizing all of the assets? It's an honest question, not facetious, not using it as a negative, not saying that, it's not, nothing's going on that's right. I'm just saying why. God bless. Thank you guys for being here so much. Very much appreciate it. Join us on Patreon. Love to have you. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time.